When a Jewish soul encounters the Shabbat table on Friday night, she flutters awake with nostalgia. The focus is neither feasting nor nutrition, but a spiritual experience crammed with edible connections to profound truths. Candles lit before the onset of Shabbat are our first indication of a spiritual presence. Shabbat is a day of the Spirit, not of a soul soaring through heavens, but a soul that has been sent to earth for the sake of conveying God's light into reality. The meal begins with Kiddush, a mission statement read out loud over a regal cup of wine, in keeping with the fourth of the 10th commandments, to verbally proclaim the sanctity of Shabbat. Wine is useful for revealing secrets and for allowing people to find their voice. This wine allows us to discover the divine voice of Shabbat and to hear the secret she reveals. Kiddush recalls the mystery of creation and unveils God's name encoded into that account. On Shabbat, the veil of nature drops to reveal a smiling Creator. We mention the Exodus to remember that God selected our nation for a divine mission. Shabbat is a time to shine a glowing spotlight on that mission. From its graceful hideout, the Shabbat bread, or challah, whispers the mystery of the manna that fell from heaven for our ancestors in the Sinai desert. There are 2 loaves because during our 40 years in the wilderness, a double portion of manna fell on Fridays for each Jewish household, one for Friday and another for Shabbat, ensuring that no one would collect or prepare food on Shabbat itself. With each delicious slice, we recall that our sustenance is directed by God, who spares us financial loss despite our taking the day off work. Sanctity breeds sensitivity. Since we recite Kiddush over wine, not bread, we cover the bread with a beautiful cloth so that it won't be forced to watch us select its rival. Shabbat reminds us that every detail in God's creation is alive with divine energy and purpose. In a teachable moment, Shabbat says if you are thoughtful to food, you can be thoughtful to your fellow. In ancient times, everyone preferred fish. Ordinary folk considered fish the perfect delicacy to fulfill our obligation to physically enjoy Shabbat. Rabbis preferred fish because of its simplicity. It doesn't require ritual slaughter and contains no forbidden blood or parts. Mystics favored fish because it is submerged, like a person surrounded with divine awareness, the very goal of Shabbat. Chopped fish mixed with flour and condiments has graced Shabbat tables for millennia. The Yiddish reincarnation of this is gefilte fish. Aside from feeding more mouths with less fish, chopped fish avoids complications of Jewish law that arise from handling fish bones on Shabbat. Jewish law defines meat as appealing food with which to honor Shabbat. But this stew, or one of its popular varieties, is kept for Shabbat lunch, so that a pot is kept simmering since before the start of Shabbat. We thereby affirm our loyalty to a tradition passed orally from Moses to the sages, whereby the Torah permits us to leave a fire burning from before the start of Shabbat. The Shabbat meal is traditionally unhurried, to allow time to digest the many messages found in the foods in their beautiful setting. It is a time for inspirational insights and sacred song. A perfect harmony of stomach and soul in the service of our Creator.